Hi fairies, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Fifi. It's so nice to have you here. I hope you stay a while. Today we are going to be doing a little bit of a reading challenge. Okay, I am going to be reading a page for every time I picked up my phone last week. iPhone obviously has this thing where they track the amount of times you picked up your phone in a day, and so today being Monday the 17th of February, I am going to check the amount of times I picked up my phone last week Monday the 10th of February, and then I will read the same amount of pages. So last week Monday 10th of February, I picked up my phone 31 times, and I was thinking, oh wow, that's actually so small. That's actually quite small. Like I expected it to be way over that. I expected it to be in the hundreds or so, and then I realized that that probably most definitely means I just was on my phone a lot more. Like I picked it up 31 times, but I was on it like steadily, you know, because my screen time is telling me a whole different story. I'm not even going to talk about it, but yeah, since it's quite small, I decided we are going to times it by 2. We are going to double it. So yes, I did pick up my phone 31 times on Monday, but I am going to be reading 62 pages because 31 just seems a little too small. Okay, let's like increase the challenge just a little bit. So the first book I'm going to be reading in this video is this one, House of Trelawney by Hannah Rothschild, and this is just about the Earls of Trelawney, and they have inhabited the same castle for 800 years, but recent generations have been better at spending than making money. So now, living in isolated penury, unable to communicate with each other or the rest of the world, the family are running out of options. 3 unexpected events will hasten their demise. Oh the sudden appearance of a new relation, an illegitimate, headstrong, beautiful girl, an unscrupulous American hedge fund manager determined to exact revenge, and the crash of 2008. What exactly is the crash of 2008? We will obviously be finding out. So yeah, I've just heard that this book is quite funny, also pretty emotional, and it just follows this family and their, you know, struggles, I guess. So I'm excited to get into it. I won't lie. The font, can you guys see that? I hope I'm not spoiling anything, but the font is so freaking small, and it's like, come on. I would rather have had the book be thicker than for the font to be so freaking small. Like, why was this necessary? But yeah, I'm going to get right to it. I'm going to start reading, and I will stop at page 62. Okay? Okay. Oh my god, this is already I know this is going to take so freaking long because of how small this font is. Like I've literally been on one paragraph for like 1 minute. Usually I can read 1 page, sometimes even 2 pages in 1 minute. So this is going to be very annoying. I might have to download the ebook and switch to my iPad because I don't know about this. This is actually crazy. Let me just read let me read this paragraph to you. In summer months, until the First World War, it was the custom of the family and guests to take the Trelawney barge from the Trelawney boathouse through Trelawney land, past Trelawney follies and temples, to Trelawney Cove, where they could use the seaside house, Little Trelawney Castle, or sail the yacht, the Trelawney. In the winter, the same ilk will hunt with the Trelawney foxhounds or shoot game raised on the Trelawney estate. At that time, the family were so landed and powerful that they could travel from Trelawney to Bath, from the south coast to the Bristol Channel, without stepping off their own domain. This swath of England became known as Trelawneyshire, an area of 500,000 acres, including 40 miles of coastline. How freaking big is this? Like, it's not even an estate anymore because it has an estate inside it. What even is this? Like, it's a whole freaking small city of its own. Like, what the hell? That's insane. To amass all, not only that amount of wealth, but like that amount of land. What even are you doing with it? What are you doing with that much land? I don't know how people can do stuff like that, because how is that even appealing? I feel like that would not be appealing, to just have all that land for yourself. Like, yeah, you would have family, I guess, but there's no way you're filling up all that. It's just wild to me. But yeah, interesting. I can definitely tell that this book is more of like a fiction. I actually don't know what genre this is. I think it's like a historical fiction, if I'm not mistaken. So it's definitely going to read like a fiction. It already reads like a fiction. I cannot even, like, I'm looking through the pages and I can barely see any dialogue. So that's kind of scary. But yeah, we're going to push through. Hi guys, please ignore how I look right now. It's literally 2 a.m. okay, 2 a.m. on Tuesday, and I did finish the amount of books I was supposed to read yesterday, being Monday. Okay, I reached page 62, and yeah, I fear I might have to DNF this book, unfortunately. I don't think it's the book for me, especially not at this moment. It just feels very bulky, info dumpy. I do not like the writing. I don't really care for anything that is happening in the plot right now. There's actually no plot, and I'm not sure like I have the energy for that. It's like a fiction, as I've said, but it's just too fictiony for me at the moment, and I cannot deal. I simply cannot deal. I don't even know why I bought this book, if I'm being honest. I just thought the cover was really beautiful, and it is really beautiful, as you can see, but the writing is not resonating with me at all, and I fear it might put me in a book slump, and it might put me off this video, and I really do not want that. So yeah, I did finish my amount of pages I was supposed to read yesterday, so that's a good thing, I guess. But today being Tuesday, we are going to start a different book. And so the amount of times I picked up my phone last week Tuesday was 61 times. And yeah, we're just going to keep up the whole multiplying by 2 thing. So it's going to be 122, and I'm going to read 122 pages today. And I decided that this would be the next book I start. Okay, this is The Family Upstairs by Lisa Ju. I'm sure a lot of you know Lisa Ju. She's very, very popular, especially in the horror thriller space, one of the most popular thriller authors right now. And I read, I think, just one of her books, and I thought it was okay. I gave it like 4 stars, if I'm not mistaken, or 3.75. I thought it was okay. I did think it was quite outlandish, but yeah, this one, apparently it says, in a large house in London's fashionable Chelsea, a baby is awake in her cot, well fed and cared for. She is happily waiting for someone to pick her up. In the kitchen lie 3 decomposing corpses. Close to them is a hastily scrawled note. They've been dead for several days. Who has been looking after the baby, and where did they go? Okay, so yeah, it's a thriller book, and I actually think that's what I need right now. I need something to really pick me up and hasten the pace, because I am feeling myself deteriorating when it comes to wanting to read. I am feeling the book slump, like it's really creeping. It's creeping on the edge, on my doorstep. Obviously I'm delusional. It's literally 2 a.m. sorry, but yeah, I will be reading 122 pages of this book today, which is quite crazy, this much. So not actually too crazy, but yeah, I'm going to start right now because I don't feel too sleepy at the moment. Yeah. So the way this book is written is very interesting. It goes from present day, which is written in first person, but from 2 people's point of views, Libby and Lucy, then to the past, which is the 1980s, in a specific character's point of view, first person. Okay, and it's very eyewitness-esque, like he's like telling a story. It feels like an interview, maybe, even though we're not hearing anybody else, he's just telling a story. So it's all very interesting, but also quite jarring, because I haven't really read anything like it. It's kind of, you know, discombobulating, going from this to this, from present to past, to present tense, to past tense, to, you know, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, it's just a little bit jarring at the moment, and I think I am too delusional for it. But I have made it to page 35, chapter 5, and yeah, it's definitely creepy, definitely eerie. Our main character, or what I believe what should be or could be the main character, has just discovered that first of all she was adopted, and her real parents left her this huge haunted house from the 1980s, and she has just inherited it. But then she finds out that they were killed when she was a child, and that's how she was adopted. Like, it's a whole thing, and I just find it quite interesting. But yeah, I'm still on the fence on the plot. I'm not quite sure where it's going. Obviously, I'm just 5 chapters in, so I don't really know too much per se, but I'm not hating it. I'm just not loving it at the moment. But obviously things can change. Things can obviously get better, especially when we get further into the meat of the book and we see how things pan out and unfold and it starts to make sense. I do hope it's not like too outlandish, because I hate when horror books or thriller books are just so freaking outlandish, like it doesn't even make sense, and like this would never actually happen. But yeah, I'm going to keep reading till I feel like sleeping. I don't know when I will update you, probably later in the day, but yeah. Hi guys, it's later in the day and I have in fact finished all the pages I was supposed to read today. Okay, I was supposed to read 122 pages, but I read up to page 125 so I could finish the chapter that I was in, and then I would be entering chapter 18. And so far with this book, I don't know how I feel. I really don't. It's definitely very creepy and eerie, but not very thrilling, at least not at the moment. So I'm just like intrigued but not too enthralled, if you know what I mean. I'm very interested in the whole cult situation that's happening. Obviously I don't want to spoil it, but like there's heavy cult vibes, not even vibes, like actual cultism going on in this book, but like we haven't really reached, you know, the bulk of it. And yeah, I'm really interested in the book as a whole, and I will say it's very easy to read and easy to get through. If I wasn't filming this video, I probably would have finished it, or at least reached a good amount of it by now. It's just very easy to flip through. It keeps your interest enough to make you want to, you know, go to the next page, the next chapter, eager to know what is going on in this whole world. I just wanted to give that little update, but I also wanted to do a bit of a book haul. Not too much of a book haul, it's literally just a few books that I got, but I wanted to open them with you guys. This is from a store that I usually buy my books from. It's a second-hand, actually they sell both second-hand books or pre-owned books, pre-loved books, and also new books. So yeah, I got some books and I'm actually very excited. Oh my god, I got the Hunger Games books. Like, I really wanted to get these books because one, I have never read any of the books and I have watched every single movie so far at least 2 or 3 times, and I just wanted to know like what the vibes were when it comes to the actual books and, you know, how different it is. I do want to film like a video of me reading all the Hunger Games books before the new one comes out. I'm pretty sure it comes out in like March 18th or something. That's Haymitch's story, and I'm actually very excited for that, and also the movie. I know the movie is going to be so freaking good and I honestly cannot wait. But yeah, the books, I'm very excited to get into this and very excited to film that video, so stay tuned. They are obviously pre-loved. I did not see the point in getting like new books. I guess I will if it's like a special edition at some point, but yeah. I also got this book, Tattooist of Auschwitz. I have the Librarian of Auschwitz and I haven't read that one yet, but I just wanted to get this one so I can read both of them. They're both very sad because they are based on real life situations. That one is about a librarian who was 14 years old. I'm pretty sure her name was Dita something, sorry I forget. But this one is about a tattooist, obviously, and it says in 1942 Leo Sokolov arrived in Auschwitz-Birkenau. He was given the job of tattooing the prisoners marked for survival, scratching numbers into his fellow victims' arms in indelible ink to create what would become one of the most potent symbols of the Holocaust. So obviously it's based on like the Holocaust, the whole Nazi stupidity. Waiting in line to be tattooed, terrified and shaken, was a young girl. For Leo, a dandy, a jack in the lad, a bit of a chancer, it was love at first sight. And he was determined not only to survive himself, but to ensure this woman, Gita, did too. So begins one of the most life-affirming, courageous, unforgettable, and human stories of the Holocaust, the love story of the tattooist of Auschwitz. Okay, so he falls in love with this girl. I'm side-eyeing the fact that they said a young girl. Like, how young are we talking about? And how old is he? I don't know about all that, but I am very excited. I've been wanting to read books that make me feel something, and I do also want to film a video where I read sad books for a week, because I just really need to feel something. I need to cry. I need a good cry, and I've been like brought to tears a lot of times this week, especially because it's that time of the month. I've been quite sad, but I need to like let tears flow. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I will see you guys tomorrow for our next amount of pages that we need to read. It is in fact Wednesday, and I have just filmed a little video. Last week Wednesday I picked up my phone 44 times, and so today, multiplying that by 2, I will be reading 88 pages. And I have already gotten quite far. Last time I saw you, I was at page 125, and now I am at page 164, chapter 24. And yeah, I am to read up to page 213 if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, that's quite easy. Honestly, this book is just flowing very much quickly. I would say it hasn't really given me anything more to hold on to. It's just very like intriguing, and I'm eager to find out more, but I haven't gotten what I want just yet. So no real update about the book itself. I will keep reading until I get to my little goal, and yeah, see you guys when I see you.
Take me home, go down the road we know, feel the wind as we're going.
Hi guys, it's Thursday, and I actually haven't spoken to you at all throughout today, but I did finish the amount of pages I was supposed to read today. Okay, so last week I picked up my phone 65 times, which is kind of the highest that we've had so far, and so multiplying that by 2 as we've been doing, I read 130 pages. And I got to page 348. I don't know if you can see that. I'm entering chapter 52. And yeah, this book, I don't even know what to say, to be honest. Like, it seems like there's no real plot twist. Like, things are just slowly unraveling and coming to the light. But it's not really anything you couldn't have figured out on your own. Like, there's no shocking thing. Like, I'm pretty sure from the first few chapters you already can tell where this is going to go, and that's the same issue or feeling that I had about the first and only other book I've read from this author, Lisa Ju. I read And Then She Was Gone, or something like that, and I just felt like there was no plot twist. We were just watching things happen, and it was good. It was fun. I even gave that book 4 stars. But I don't know, I feel like from a thriller I just always want a plot twist, and it just seems like that might not be the case once again. Regardless, I am liking it, and I am excited to see how everything wraps up. I will see you guys tomorrow, being Friday, for our final day of reading. And spoiler alert, tomorrow is actually like the day that we have to read the most amount of pages. So yeah, see you then. Hi guys, we are back again in this angle. It is actually Friday, and I already started reading my pages for the day, and I realized that I had to update you guys and let you guys know what in fact I was doing, because I didn't really do that yesterday. Last week Friday I picked up my phone 107 times, which is just so crazy. Like, I don't know what the hell I was doing or what I was on. It was Valentine's Day, so I guess like I don't really know. But since we're doing the whole multiplying by 2 thing, that means I would have to read 214 pages. Okay, and yesterday I finished on page 348 of this book, and this book is about 446 pages long, so obviously I would need to read another book when I finish this one. And I actually think I'm going to read the next book in this little series, the sequel that comes after this book. I just have this much left for this book, and obviously that's not anything close to 214 pages. So I will read this, finish it up, and then start the next book in the series. It's not a series necessarily, it just has a sequel, which I do have. So yeah, I will see you guys, I don't know, probably when I finish this one, and I'll give you my thoughts on this one, and then I'll get into the next book so we can wrap up this video. So I have in fact finished this book, The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell, and my thoughts about this book are very conflicting because I liked it, like I enjoyed reading it, and my reading experience was very good and very quick, very easy, but the book itself just did not hit the mark when it comes to what I would want or like from a thriller. It just didn't feel very thrilling. I think I've said this before, but it really just felt like a drama with like tragic moments, like some sad and awful things happened to, you know, some of the characters in this book, but it just did not give thriller. And I feel like you can only understand what I mean by that if you read this book, because I don't even know how to explain what I'm trying to say. There was no big plot twist or reveal, like we're just following things as they were happening, and yes, some things will come to light, some things will be unveiled, but like they were not shocking. There are things you could have guessed, you could have figured out yourself. Like most of the things that were unveiled or revealed in this book, I already guessed from like the first few chapters, and it's just, I don't know, that's just not what I want or expect from a thriller. It was very good writing. I would say I was not too keen on the style of it, like the whole back and forth with present day and past, and you know, the writing style of having some parts be in present tense and some parts be in past tense and some parts be in like present participle. Like it was just it was just a whole lot in that aspect, but generally it was a very easy, nice and quick read, and I think for that reason I would give this book 3.5 stars. Yeah, I think that's a very, you know, nice place to just gently drop this book, because it was not bad by any means, it just did not hit the mark, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that is that about that. So like I said, today we are supposed to read 214 pages, but I read only 98 pages in this book and then I finished it. So we have about 116 pages left, if I'm not mistaken, and so I will read this book. This book, like I said, is the sequel to this one, and this one leaves off in a kind of open-ended manner. There's a particular character in this book that is just very weird, and by the end of this book we have a little bit of a hint of how he plans to continue or follow up this weirdness of his. And also in this book, I don't want to spoil it, but you know, they did some, you know, things that are actually criminal, and they basically get away with it or they think that they do. And I'm pretty sure in this book a particular investigator, you know, is now trying to unravel all the things that they did. To be honest, I do think that, you know, the crimes that were committed in this book were justified. Like the people that had what happened to them kind of deserved it. I'm trying to be so vague here because I don't want to spoil it, obviously. And yeah, I don't know what's going to happen in this book, because I genuinely think the people that committed the crimes in, you know, the first book don't deserve any harsh treatment or judgment, because they just kind of had to do what they had to do, in my opinion. So I'm excited to see how this goes. I'm going to get into this book now. Like I said, I have to read 116 pages, and obviously that means I will not be finishing this book in this video, but I am going to start reading it now and I will let you know whatever happens.
I like spending these moments with you. Drive around, laughing the best we know how. Broken tires, hard in June, but I like.
There are multiple murder cases from the last book being investigated in this book, and I'm very intrigued but also interested in seeing how it unfolds and what becomes of all this, because like I said, I really was fine with how the first book ended, but I guess we'll see.
Far from this place, in the morning I wait, have you heard? If it's dancing in the rain, spending lazy days to staying out late, all the things that I do, all these little moments, I'm glad I get to spend them with you.
Hello guys, I was literally already talking myself into bed, you know, getting ready to start my little YouTube binge before I inevitably fall asleep, even though I have videos to edit. Yeah, I was about to do all that, and then I remembered that I haven't given you guys an update. So here I am. It's actually almost 3 a.m. the next day, which is Saturday, but I did finish my pages yesterday. Okay, I even went further than that. I actually completely finished this book. I was supposed to read up to page 116 and I just locked in and finished the book. So here I am to give you my final thoughts basically and round up this video because kind of right. So this book, I honestly don't know how I really felt about it. Okay, in some ways I enjoyed it and I really liked it. In other ways I did not like it, and the reason I would say I liked it because by the end of it I felt like I had actually connected to at least one or two characters, especially the main guy Henry, who seems to be the main character in these books. And by the end of it I felt sad for him, but also it ended on a weird note because he is a very weird person, and that's saying the least. There's something very off about him, and then it ended on that thing, you know, being continued, and it was just like, bro, I thought we've moved on past this. Yeah, the book was quite fun. Once again, it was not thrilling. Like, it did not feel like a thriller, it felt like a drama. It felt like I was just watching these people and their lives, and it was quite interesting. I enjoyed the story, I enjoyed the plot. The pacing, I don't quite know. I feel like we could have shaved a couple of pages from this book, a couple of chapters actually, because this book is about 431 pages, and I feel like it did not need to be that long, especially for a sequel. Like, it's literally longer than the main book, and it was not necessarily there. So many parts that I felt dragged on and were just filler basically. And yeah, I don't know, the writing also of this book, it was the same issue that I had with the first book, but in this book it's like more intense. Like, the author just goes in with this her writing style, and also she has very specific literary devices that she uses a lot in this book, like over and over again. It makes it redundant, repetitive, and honestly, like, it was just annoying at some point. The writing was annoying, but I did enjoy the characters and the story, the plots. I enjoyed that, but the writing really was taking me out of the book, especially because this book is kind of like modern, and she was using modern language, especially when we're in first person POV. And it was not just modern language, it was modern language that you would expect from like a millennial. And it does make sense because most of the characters in this book are millennials, but like, it just took me out of the book because why are we saying these things and why are we pointing these things out? I feel like it was also unnecessary. So just overall, I did not really vibe with the writing of this book and also the other book that we've read. I do still have one more book by her that I haven't read that I bought. I bought like 5 of her books because people just rave about her and I just decided to do it. And now it feels like I don't really love her writing, especially as a thriller author. It feels like she doesn't know how to do thriller very well, in my opinion. No tea, no shade. It's just not giving thriller. Like, if you want to write a drama, write a drama. If you want to write a mystery, write a mystery and call it a mystery. Like, don't tell us it's a thriller and don't tell us that it's dark and this and that, and just not give what you claim to give, you know what I mean? And it was just quite annoying because yes, there were eerie vibes and like weird creepy vibes because of the main character. Like I said, Henry, he's just weird as hell, but the book in general was not dark, it was not twisted. Like, it did not give anything that I expected. And the mystery that we're supposedly following in this book, we basically already know what happened from the first book, so it just felt quite redundant, honestly. Regardless, I did decide on a 3.5 star because I generally enjoyed my experience and it was quick, it was easy. Yeah, I just decided to give it 3.5 stars, and I'm pretty sure that's also what I gave the first book. So yeah, I don't know. That's about that, and we have actually come to the end of this video. Okay, this was actually quite fun. I like that I had a specific amount of pages to read every day because that actually made me want to pick up my book and read, because I was, you know, doing that and also filming this video. So yeah, I really enjoyed that, and honestly I think I should start doing that regularly. Like, start giving myself an amount of pages to read every day. But I feel like if I'm not filming it, I might just not do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought of the video. If you've read any of the books that I read in this video, let me know what you thought of them. If you share the same opinions as me. If you didn't, Also let me know. If you would like to read any of these books, let me know. Just talk to me in the comments. I love reading and replying comments. It's one of my favorite pastimes. And yeah, thank you guys once again for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.